Cheers. G'day, welcome to Bevo's tips for round 8. We're down here at the lovely Marina Sunset Bar. Clearly it's not the greatest weather, but we are getting close to winter, so yeah, not really much for a sunset, but it's a great place to have a frothy on a Wednesday afternoon anyway. And joined today by Alex Aurrichio from the South Adelaide Footy Club, all the way from New York. Alex, great to be with you, or great to have you on the show today, mate.
G'day, mate. Good to be here.
So tell us all your background from New York and all the way over here to Adelaide to play for the South Adelaide Footy Club.
Yeah, I've been out in Australia now for 4 years. I did 2 years in Melbourne in the VFL, and this is my second year playing for South Adelaide in the East AFL.
Great. And what do you enjoy most about playing Aussie rules footy?
Just the competitive spirit, just the adrenaline rush of getting out there each week, getting out on the oval and competing with the boys, getting about and hopefully singing a song each week at the end of a big victory.
Okay, great. And obviously your ultimate goal is to playing AFL footy. What do you think you need to do to get to that next level?
Got to start really putting the little things together a little bit more, taking some pack marks, executing kicks and kicking goals. That's what they want to see.
Well, hopefully we'll be seeing the new Mason, or the next Mason Cox in the next couple of years, mate, so fingers crossed. But we should get stuck into round 8 of the AFL, and on Friday night there's a big clash between the Hawks and the Swans. 4th plays 8th. Always pretty big, exciting clash again between these two sides. Of course, it's Buddy's old side, the Hawks, and hopefully he'll be playing this Friday night. How do you see this one going?
Yeah, obviously it's going to be a big Friday night. The past couple of weeks have been a bit of a quiet Friday night, if you will. The last week, the Geelong GWS game was a bit of a snooze fest, if you will. A lot of people complain about that, but no. I think this game rides on the back of Buddy Franklin. So if Buddy gets up with that foot injury of his, I'm going to pick the Sydney Swans to get up. If Buddy doesn't play down at the G, I'm going to pick the Hawks, but it all rides on Buddy Franklin. Might be a bit slick conditions with the weather, so keep an eye on that, but obviously Sydney playing up at the SCG is used to some dewy conditions, so that shouldn't be much of a factor, I don't think. Yeah,
I'm with you. I think Sydney this Friday night, they've got Hanbury obviously coming back as well, and Buddy with a bit of luck, so I think the Swans in a bit of an upset because the Hawks have been playing some pretty good footy of late. Right. But I think Sydney will bounce back after their surprise loss last week against the Roos. The next game, this is another huge one. We've got Giants sitting in 5th position up against West Coast in 2nd position. How do you see this one going, big fella?
Yeah, this is another big one that's going to be dictated by just one player, I think. Obviously, with the match review panel coming out this week, that Nick Naitanui is going to have a 1-game ban for his tackle last week against Port Adelaide. Is obviously a big deal. They're going to go to the match review tonight. They're going to appeal, so we'll see what comes out with that. But look, GWS needs to get some momentum going again. A bit of a shocking defeat last week at down at Geelong, which is a tough place to play. But 32 points is a bit unacceptable on their part. So if Nick Nat plays, I think he'll be dominant in the ruck. GWS ruck stocks right now are hurting. So I like West Coast in this one.
Okay. I'm going to go against you. I think GWS will bounce back. They're pretty hard to beat over there at Spotless. This is going to be a ripper of a game, though. Looking forward to this one. But I think GWS just, so it should be a beauty, though. This round is just so many 50-50s. The next one's another one that could go either way. We've got the Blues sitting in 18th position, still yet to get a win, but showed some good signs against the Crows last week. Up against the Bombers, who have been quite disappointing this year, especially the last couple of weeks. They're sitting in 15th. How do you see this one going?
Yeah, obviously I had the pleasure of going to Adelaide Oval last week and watching the Crows beat up on a weak Carlton team. But no difference here, I don't think. The Blues without Levi Caswell this week. I think he's got a couple of broken ribs that he suffered late in the game last week. Essendon really needs to get their act together here. Leighton starting again up round 8 this week, so if they want to be considered for the finals, they really got to start building some momentum, winning some games, and putting some points on the board. No Joe Danaher, of course, which is obviously a big out with the groin issue. But Carlton just doesn't have nearly enough firepower to compete. I think the Bombers get up big in this one.
Yeah, Bombers for me as well. The next one's another big game. It's going to be the Suns sitting in 13th position up against Melbourne in 10th. How do you see this one going?
Yeah, look, Melbourne's starting to click maybe, I think, this year early on. Struggled a bit with consistency. No Jack Minor this week. He'll play in the VFL, it looks like, according to coach over there at Melbourne. But I think I still like Melbourne in this one. I'm picking them.
Yeah, I think I'm the same there. I think I'll go for the D's against the Suns. The next game is another one that could go either way. It's the big showdown. It's my team, Port Adelaide, sitting in 11th versus the Crows, who are on fire at the moment in 3rd place. How do you see this one going, mate?
Yeah, obviously today for training, Tex Walker and Roy Sloan are going to be tested out to see if they're going to play, but I don't think there's any doubt. Showdown, Adelaide, this is what these guys play for. It'll be a finals-like atmosphere, so it'll be a very exciting night. I think 4:30 start at Adelaide Oval. The place should be packed. Gotta love the Showdown. Everyone in Adelaide comes out for the game. Port, Adelaide. I'm going to take Port in this one. I think, Paddy Ryder's back now, got a week under his belt. I don't like the way Adelaide's going. They struggled a bit there for Carlton. Carlton in that second quarter last week, had him on the ropes a bit. And I think Port's got something to prove this year. They got blown out last year a couple games versus Adelaide, and I think they'll come out hot.
Yeah, it's very much a case of what Port shows up now. Their best footy is good enough, but I'd actually chose the Crows earlier on the week, but I'm going to agree with you and go for Port. I think their best footy is good enough, and they owe the Crows. They haven't beaten them in 5 games now. It's the last time was back in 2015. So Port Adelaide in the absolute classic, a showdown classic, maybe even right down to the last kick after the siren, but we'll see what happens. Should be a beauty anyway. Next game is also on Saturday night. So Dogs City in 14th position up against the Lions, who are sitting in 17th. How do you see this one going?
Yeah, I reckon this is going to be a pretty good game, actually, up there. Look, the Doggies are building a bit of momentum. Bontempelli should be back this week. But Brisbane's, they got some up-and-coming guys here. Love Eric Hipwood. I think he's going to be gun in the coming years. Tall forward, could take some pack marks. I like Brizzy up there. Let's see what they can do. I think they're finally starting to turn the corner a bit, and I'm hoping they can get up this week.
Yeah, just because it's in Melbourne at Etihad, I think the Dogs for me just so, but it wouldn't surprise me if the Lions got up and won this one, so it should be a good game as well. This Saturday night, it's a big game. It's Freo sitting in 12th position in Optus Stadium over there in Western Australia, with a bit of a fortress for them, up against the very disappointing Saints sitting in 16th at the moment. How do you see this one going, mate?
Yeah, obviously that Optus Stadium out there is, by all accounts, it's absolutely marvelous. I'd love to get out there soon, but I think Freo. A bit of a shellacking last week against Richmond. Obviously, they're the cream of the crop right now. But going out back to Western Australia, I don't see how Freo loses this game. I think the Saints, they really can't get out of their own way at the moment. Freo up in this one big.
Yeah, almost exactly the same. Freo over there in Western Australia, and the Saints, just not going too well at the moment. We've got a big game this Sunday between the Tigers sitting in first, and the Kangaroos have been a real surprise packet this year, sitting in 7th place at the moment. How do you see this one going?
Yeah, obviously North Melbourne, big win last week over Sydney by 2 points. Exhilarating stuff. Jared Wright's coming back this week. Magic Dog might be back in. So getting a couple extra bodies to support the troops there. But, obviously Richmond, they're just flying on all cylinders right now. Trent Cotchell will be back in, which is a big in. He didn't play last week versus Freo. As much as you want to maybe heartfelt pick to pick the Roos, Richmond in this one, no shot.
Yeah, Richmond for me as well. They're playing too well at the moment. Next game is on Sunday at 2:50 at the MCG. It's the Magpies in 9th versus the Cats in 6th position.
Should be a good one.
Should be a ripper game. How do you see this one going?
Besides the showdown, this is probably the game of the week in my opinion, or even the Hawks-Sydney game. But look, this one's got a lot of storylines going on. Obviously, Tom Hawkins last week. Getting 1 game ban for touching the umpire, that's a huge out. He best on ground, one of the votes last week, so he was playing real well. That's going to hurt. Jamie Elliott might be coming back in for Collingwood, and then obviously Pendlebury is a big question mark. Look, he's a quick healer, gets up for a lot of games, but from all accounts, that ankle's pretty bad. So with that being said, Gary Abbott's back in this week with the hamstring. He should be good. And I think it's finally time for the big 3 between Selwood, Dangerfield, and Ablett to really start firing. Even though it's at the MCG, I'm going to go with Geelong in this one.
Yeah, I'm with you. The big 3 definitely need to have a big game together, but I feel as though Geelong's starting to play some good footy, and they got some confidence back with their win last Friday night against GWS. So, yeah, the Cats for me as well. Well, it's actually time for us to go, mate. Thanks so much for coming on today and being our celebrity tipster for Bevo's AFL Tips. It's been great having you on.
Pleasure having me, man. Thanks for being here, and really enjoyed it.
Thanks so much. We'll see you all again next week for round 9 of Bevo's AFL Tips. Have a great week, everyone.